in each episode, there's a moment of heart. There's a
Mhm.
lot of comedy shows that more or less don't have a heart. Do you think that heart is important in a comedy, or do you think that in some instances a comedy can get by without really much of a heart?
I think it depends on the premise of the show, right? Like there are definitely some comedy shows that I love that never, I mean, think about Seinfeld, right? Seinfeld
Hmm.
never had hugs and, oh, whatever. It was
Yeah.
just funny the whole time. And I love
Yeah.
that show. The perspective of that show was very much, it's trying to kind of focus in on the foibles of everyday life and how frustrating it is to get the wrong coffee order or, whatever it is. The focus is a
Yeah.
little bit different, right? I think it
Right.
depends on the show. And because our show is so rooted in telling this biblical story and also trying to relate to these people who are very faith driven, I think naturally, I know in my life as a believer, like there are definitely days where I have hardship, and there are days where it's like tough and it's hard to get through. And I think when the focus is on trying to relate to people like this, it naturally lends itself to having those heart moments. And I do think that having moments of kind of heartfelt sincerity makes the comedy funnier because you
Mhm.
can kind of see a difference between like what it feels like when it does hurt and when it is a low moment
Hmm.
versus when it's a low moment but it's funny. Does that kind of make sense? It's like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I think the heart makes the comedy funnier, and I think the comedy makes the heart more meaningful.
Hmm.
And it just makes it a more well-rounded show. Some of my other favorite comedies, I think, do that. Even The Office kind of did that sometimes. You think about when Pam had her art show, and like no one showed up, but then Michael Scott shows up and he's trying to buy
Yeah.
them. It's like you can't watch that scene and not cry.
Yep.
And it's just a moment. But those moments mean everything when you're watching a show that's mostly funny.
Right.
Yeah.